Hi, so in the Analects of Confucius 2.24, Confucius is talking about the difference between the state of Qi and the state of Lu, where Confucius was from. And he talks about the fact that one simple change can drastically improve the state of these two states. And a misreading, I suppose, is that this is really hopeful. He's in a very hopeful tone. And this isn't exactly optimistic, it's more like it's a lament that is masked with hope. And so, without further ado, let's get started. 6.24, the master said, with one great change, the state of Qi could resemble the state of Lu. With one great change, the government of Lu could embody the moral way. Okay, so let's just establish these two states. So the state of Qi was a very wealthy state, and it was really powerful. It had a really powerful military, but the one issue is that it's not very morally righteous in the way that they prioritized the gaining wealth and power over virtue, which Confucius didn't really like. While the state of Lu, again Confucius's homeland or birthplace, the state of Lu was really weak and really not doing well economically, but it did a really good job by preserving the rituals and the virtues of the Zhou dynasty. And then I don't really prefer the term one great change, because it sounds kind of like, one great leap forward, but Confucius is actually going for the opposite of what the Great Leap Forward was. So Confucius believed that not really one great change, but just one specific focused change. That one focused change, it can again drastically improve the moral condition of a state. But Confucius is going for more like incremental changes, like one step by step, instead of just one big radical revolution or one big upheaval and just tearing everything down. So Confucius says that with one great change, the state of Qi could resemble the state of Lu. So what he is saying is that Qi's only problem is moral decay. And so if they just fix that one thing, then they could be at the moral foundation as the state of Lu. So then both states, their moral virtue foundation could be the same. And Confucius isn't by any means saying that wealth or power are evil. He's not saying that. He's just saying that people should prioritize virtue over anything else, and they should prioritize virtue as the foundation. So it's like the base for lots of building blocks, or we can say something like it's math. So for example, when you're little, you learn addition, subtraction, and then when you're even older, then you'll learn multiplication, division. So these types of mathematical processes are the foundation, or we can just say that addition and subtraction are the foundation, the building block, which is kind of like virtue. And so after you learn addition and subtraction, then you go on to multiplication and division, which are technically stemming out of addition and subtraction. Multiplication is just addition over and over again, and same with division, over and over again with subtraction. And then you learn more algebra, geometry, more algebra, pre-calculus, calculus, all of these more advanced studies. They all stem from your base, which is addition and subtraction and multiplication and division. And the same with virtue. Without virtue, then you can't do anything else to a good extent. So you can't master any of the more advanced things like governing, or we can maybe say even like yourself. You can't really live a good life or have good interactions with people without the basic building block, the basic base of virtue. And with our second sentence, Confucius says that with one great change, the government of Lu could embody the moral way. So he's saying that Lu, with the foundation of virtue, is actually really close to living out, embodying the moral way, the Dao, or the correct path to live or to walk on, the morally correct way to live a humane life. And that would be benevolence, humaneness, righteousness, trustworthiness, all of these virtues that we've talked about before, that we've established before. So he's saying that with one small change, which is getting Lu's leaders to stop really performing the rights and the virtues and actually start practicing them for real. Because Lu's main problem, or maybe if we're going through the structure of what I said before, Lu's only problem is that it's preserved all of these rituals and virtues perfectly, but at the foundation it's still pretty corrupt in the way that the officials aren't really taking it into heart, and they're not actually practicing it and putting it into action. So with one small change, no, not one small change, but one simple change, then the state of Lu could perhaps really embody the moral way. So Confucius, by saying this, is also stating that reaching the moral way, whether it's talking about the state or even just yourself, it's a really simple and achievable thing. It's not some kind of far out, really, really impossible thing, maybe only for really advanced scholars. No, it's just a really simple thing. It's right there, and all you have to do is walk along it. And so his main message, at least just looking at it right now, is saying that just one simple change can really transform even the most morally corrupt societies into, for the better. And at least for me, or maybe even for you, this may sound really naive or optimistic or idealistic. But actually, Confucius, again, like I talked about at the beginning, Confucius isn't exactly looking at this in an optimistic, hopeful point of view. Instead, he's looking at it in a more diagnostic point of view. And what this means is that he's not saying that virtue or this change, he's not saying that this change is a small thing. He's just saying that it's a simple thing. Both Lu and Qi have their own problems, and I've already simply stated it out for you, their solutions. So these solutions are really simple to name, but they're almost actually impossible to actually do. So Confucius's real message is that societies don't collapse because of complexities. It's just that the solution is really obvious. It's right there, but people just refuse to do it. And this really aligns with 6.17 and really everything that we've talked about in chapter 6 or book 6. And a recap on 6.17 so you can see the similarities is that it's about the door. So the door is right there and it's the only morally acceptable way to enter and exit a room. But people often just look for shortcuts, like going out of through the window or just like breaking the walls or something like that. And so Confucius is relating the door to the way, the morally correct way to live, the Dao. And he's saying that the Dao is right there, you can see it, it's obvious, and you know it's the good thing to do, but so many people choose to take shortcuts and so many people refuse to do it for some apparent reason. And so I suppose that 6.24, the main message is that corruption isn't a really complex thing. It's just a choice that people deliberately make. Although one small change, one simple change can absolutely transform the state or even yourself for the better, not a lot of people are willing to do so. And so although the solution is simple, it's often more complex when we're trying to get the actual people to agree to doing the solution. And yeah, that'll be all today, and I hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!